How you doing? How you doing, MS Warriors? This is Big Keison, and I am here still discussing my MS journey with you. One thing that a lot of people don't talk about again is the pre-work that goes into having MS. So one of the things that having MS you have to deal with is the MRIs. And some people have gotten MRIs maybe once in their life, maybe twice. Athletes, I think they get them a little bit more. People with a little bit more degenerative physical situations may get them a little bit more frequently as well. But with MS, you have to get MRIs. I would say for myself, it's 2 to 3 times a year, depending on if there are no changes. If there are changes, then you're right back there immediately. Um, and a lot of people are like, oh, MRIs aren't that bad. MRIs are tough. With MS, it's always about the brain. You always have to get an image of the brain. If you had an MRI, they always tell you, don't move, don't move. So if you can stand 40 minutes to an hour of just someone knocking on a door, that's basically kind of what it is. You're laying down. It's just somebody. All you hear is a knock, do do do, dot dot dot, do do do, dot dot dot, and it's just like that for an hour. And then when you think you're done, they're like, okay, we're gonna hit you with the contrast. Let's do it all over again. Ugh. Then, for someone like me, the lesions, and I haven't talked about the lesions, but I'll talk more about that in another video. They're not just on my brain; they're really on my spinal, back of my neck, and that's why the MS I have is very, very hard to predict, because I can be the same Keison for the rest of my life, or it can change and become something else. I've been fortunate at this point that there are no new lesions due to the medication that I'm taking. For myself, that's a good thing. The bad thing is the freaking MRIs, okay? There's closed MRIs and there's open MRIs. And people say, well, what's the difference? Even some people I know who have MS who get MRIs will be like, what's the difference? All right, let's talk about it. A closed MRI is exactly what most people have taken. It's MRI. They stick you in a tube and you hear all that knocking, and I've had them in public hospitals. You can see where people are scratching, and you can see the scratch marks. You can see, you're like, oh my goodness, why am I in this thing? The open MRI isn't necessarily different than a closed MRI, but what they do is that they have a screen all the way around you to make you feel like you're not in a tube. You're more, you might see a picture of nature. You might see a picture of space, and it's a screen all around you, so you don't feel as claustrophobic, but it does mess with you. I would say it's one of the most agonizing things of having MS. But for me, I found what works for me is that I make sure I do it on a day. I always book them late in the day, and I make sure that I've worked almost all day. And I will go and take a nap. It's an expensive nap, but I will go and take a nap, because that's one of the only ways that I feel like I can get through it. I'm happy to say that there isn't as much contrast anymore, where they do the contrast, and by that they stick some formula or chemical in you after they've done it the first time, and then they want to see how it's different with that chemical in your body so they can see it a little bit more. But I'm glad I don't see a lot of that as I did when I initially got MS. But for me, it's an annoying process. It's necessary. Don't get me wrong. It is 100% necessary. If anything changes, I want to know as soon as possible. That's just a snapshot in time. but it is necessary, but it is annoying. Um, and if you're not sleepy, I'm sorry for you. It is, it's a lot to take. Now, I will say there are some nice techs out there that will play music for you, but it's hard to hear the music over the knocking. Uh, it's funny, but it's something real that we go through as far as the pre-work. So with that said, I'd like to thank you for listening to a little bit of my MS journey. I'd like to thank all the MS advocates as well as the MS warriors. Thank you.